The metallic click of the handcuff snapping shut around my wrist was sharp, final, a sound I'd heard countless times but always from the other side. Never like this, in my own driveway, with the afternoon sun warming the pavement and the scent of my wife's lavender drifting in the air. The man before me, a stocky brute in a straining Navy uniform labeled Vanguard Security, grunted with unearned smugness. "That's how you ensure compliance," he sneered. His partner, a wiry guy with restless eyes, fidgeted near his holster, radiating nervous energy. I stayed silent, letting the moment stretch, watching the brute's chest puff up, the wiry one's gaze dart. They were amateurs, playing at power in a game they didn't understand, digging their own graves with every smug word. My pulse was steady, my breathing controlled. Outwardly, I was their captive. Inwardly, I was dissecting them, their sloppy posture, cheap gear, overconfidence. They thought they held the reins. They were wrong. "You're in violation of Ordinance 7B, Section C," the brute barked, waving a notepad like it was a badge of authority. "Failure to comply with a sanctioned enforcement agent." "Sanctioned by whom?" I asked, my voice calm, eyes locked on his. "The Homeowners Association, buddy," he shot back, his laugh short and harsh. "The one you think you're above." "Funny," I said, unflinching. "I know every neighbor here. We don't have an HOA. A flicker of doubt crossed his face, quickly masked by aggression. "Doesn't matter what you think. Get in the vehicle, or we've got a bigger problem." I glanced at my front door, thinking of my wife, Laura, due home from her hospital shift soon. I'd built a quiet life here, far from the chaos and violence of my past. These clowns had brought that chaos to my doorstep. It was time they learned their lesson. "My name," I said, voice low and cutting, "is Michael Reed. I'm a United States Marshal." The brute's smugness faltered, his jaw slackening. The wiry one's eyes widened, panic flashing. "And you too," I continued, each word deliberate, "have just committed a federal felony by assaulting a federal officer." Before they could process it, a sleek black Mercedes sedan glided to the curb, silent and menacing, its tinted windows impenetrable. It didn't belong here, radiating a cold professionalism that dwarfed the two goons. They snapped to attention, their bravado evaporating. The rear door opened, and a polished leather shoe hit the pavement. A tall, lean man in a gray suit worth more than my mortgage stepped out, moving with the ease of someone always in control. My gut twisted with recognition. I knew him, Nathan Holt, a ghost from my past. We'd trained together years ago, but while I chose duty, Nathan chased money, vanishing into the murky world of private security. He didn't look at me, his gaze fixed on his lackeys. "Report," he commanded, his voice a low, authoritative hum. "Sir," the brute stammered. This subject was non-compliant, resisting. Nathan's eyes flicked to me, lingering on the cuffs, a hint of annoyance in his expression, like I was an unexpected glitch. "Release him," he ordered. "But sir," Nathan's voice dropped, icy. "I know exactly who Mr. Reed is. Release him. Now." The wiry one fumbled with the key, hand shaking, and the cuffs clicked open. I rubbed my wrists, eyes on Nathan. The air crackled with our history. "Reed," he said, a faint, cold smile on his lips. "Of all the quiet streets, you picked this one." It hit me like a shockwave. This wasn't random. The fake uniforms, the bogus ordnance, the cuffs, it was a setup, a probe, a message aimed at me. The sedan vanished, the goons scurried to their beat-up car, and the street fell silent, birds chirping, sprinklers hissing. But the peace was a lie. My sanctuary was breached. Nathan Holt wasn't just a security contractor. He was a chess master who saw laws as suggestions, people as pieces. His presence meant I was in a war I hadn't known existed. I retreated inside, the doors click hollow. Instinct kicked. I dialed Director Sullivan, my trusted superior at the U.S. Marshal Service. "Mike," Sullivan's gruff voice answered. "Calling to say you've taken up golf?" "I wish," I said, staring out the window. "I need to report an assault on a federal officer." Two Vanguard security goons cuffed me in my driveway, led by Nathan Holt. Silence hung heavy. Sullivan knew Nathan. "You're on leave, Mike," he said, cautious. "Sure you didn't escalate?" "They blocked my drive and cuffed me," I snapped. Nathan knew my name. Sullivan sighed, papers shuffling. "Vanguard's legit, big contracts. File a local report, let PD handle it. Don't make shadows where there aren't any." "This isn't a shadow," I pushed. "It's targeted." "Mike, stand down," he ordered. "That's direct." The line went dead. The truth hit harder than the cuffs. The wall wasn't just Nathan. It reached higher. I was alone. The war started subtly. Next morning, an orange ticket was under my truck's wiper, parked in my own driveway. Improper vehicle storage, $50 fine. Nonsense, but a clear message they were everywhere, twisting the rules. When Laura got home, I hid it, but her Yarhound instincts read my face. "What's wrong, Mike?" I gave her a sanitized version of spat with overzealous security. "I didn't mention Nathan." "Be careful," she said, trusting but wary. 2 days later, a certified letter arrived from City Code Compliance, an anonymous complaint about our non-compliant green shutters, predating any such rules, with 30 days to repaint or face fines. Then Saturday, Laura called, furious. "They towed my car from the farmer's market. Vanguard towing, no warning. It cost $300 cash to retrieve, towed for a fabricated fire lane violation. Each move was a calculated jab, making me feel trapped in my own home." In a high-tech office, Nathan Holt sipped whiskey, monitors glowing with feeds of my street, my silhouette in the window. His phone buzzed. "He's reacting as predicted," he murmured. A man of action, caged where action's useless. Let him break himself. I couldn't fight on his term. The system was rigged. I needed an outsider, someone who thrived in shadows. My mind flashed to a decade-old corruption case, exposed by a fearless reporter, Daniel Kane. He'd taken down a shipping tycoon, only to be crushed by the elite, his career ruined, his life erased from public view. After 2 days of digging, I found him in a rundown house, a fortress of bars and cameras. When I knocked, a gruff voice barked, "Go away," through a chain door. "It's about Vanguard security and Nathan Holt," I said. The chain rattled. The door opened, revealing a grizzled man with a shotgun, eyes sharp with rekindled fire. "You've stirred a hornet's nest, Marshal," he said, stepping aside. "Get in." Daniel's home was a war room, stacks of newspapers, files, a corkboard webbed with photos, and red string. "Coffee," he offered, shotgun at ease. "Adrenaline's enough," I said, eyeing the board. "You've tracked Vanguard. It's just their latest mask," he rasped. "Before, it was Titan Defense, then Liberty Global. They're corporate mercenaries for the elite, solving problems in legal gray zones." He pointed to a chart linking Vanguard to a billionaire, Victor Langston, untouchable in tech and defense, dodging a DOJ racketeering case for years. "They're after someone big," Daniel said. "You're proof they're slipping." At a warehouse linked to a Vanguard shell company, we found a chilling replica of my neighborhood, a kill house for practicing an assault. Files revealed their target. My neighbor, Mr. Evans, a retired professor, was Judge Samuel Carter, a WITSEC-protected witness in Langston's case. My phone buzzed. "Laura." I answered, but Sullivan's voice came through, cold. "Mike, come home now." Dread gripped me. "Where's Laura?" "At your house. Just get here." I raced back, finding Marshal sedans and Laura in cuffs, her face pale with shock. "Sullivan!" I roared. "What is this?" He avoided my eyes. An anonymous tip, backed by DOJ data-encrypted transfers on her hospital computer, linking her to Langston's associate. It was a frame, perfect and diabolical. Nathan had turned Laura into a weapon to discredit me. I was no longer a marshal but a fugitive, my wife a supposed traitor. As they drove her away, her eyes locked on mine, pleading. Rage boiled, but I choked it down. I ditched my car, phone, and went off-grid, meeting Daniel at a diner. "It's a masterpiece frame," Daniel said, showing decrypted Vanguard files. "Operation Nightfall targeted Carter tonight during a citywide power test. We had ours." Laura, in custody, faced agents, her voice steady. "Your evidence is too perfect," she said. "Military-grade encryption with clumsy logs?" "Someone wanted it found." She stalled, buying time. Daniel and I planned chaos. He'd tip a reporter about Vanguard's fake utility workers, drawing media. I disrupt their assault using my neighborhood's quirk, faulty latches, sensitive lights, yappy dogs. At 0155, I crouched in shadows. At 0200, the grid died, plunging the street into darkness. Vanguard's vans arrived, operatives moving like soldiers. I triggered a garage door 2 blocks away, drawing 2 away. Sprinklers doused another team. Barking dogs rattled their radios. I reached Carter's house as Nathan's team breached the front. I hurled a rock through a neighbor's window, shattering the silence. Sprinting to Carter's back door, I broke in, finding him terrified in his study. U.S. Marshal, I said, dragging him to his panic room. As Nathan's team stormed in, I sealed us inside with Carter and Nathan, who lunged through the closing door. The panic room was a steel trap. Nathan's gun clattered away. My holster stayed undetected, no room for gunfire, only fists. We clashed, a brutal brawl of rage and survival. His arm choked my throat, vision fading. "This is how it ends, Reed," he hissed. No backup, forgotten. Desperate, I spotted the panic room's recording button. I smashed it, green light blinking. "It's over, Nathan. Langston can't save you." He laughed, tightening his grip. "Langston pays me. He owns Sullivan, the system, you. I'll deliver the judge, and he'll own justice." It was the confession I needed. I jammed my thumb into his jaw, breaking his hold, and slammed him into the wall. He crumpled. I transmitted the recording to Sullivan's office. Sirens wailed, real police, not Vanguard's puppets. The door opened. Officers swarmed. "He's a marshal," Carter said. "He saved me." Media vans arrived. Daniel's tip paying off. Sullivan faced me, admitting they'd received the transmission. "Warrants are out for Langston. Laura's released, charges dropped." I walked away, leaving him to the cameras. Weeks later, the sun warmed my back as Laura read in our yard, smiling. Vanguard and Langston dominated headlines, Daniel's story exposing their empire. Sullivan retired. Nathan faced life in prison. Our neighborhood was quiet again, but I saw its fragility. Laura touched my arm. "It's over, isn't it?" "Yes," I said, flipping a burger, eyes scanning the horizon, forever watchful. "Have you faced a system turned against you?" Share below. I'd love to know I'm not alone.